What we're going to talk about today is so important. If you're part-time or full-time, it doesn't matter. If you are part-time and want to become full-time, you need to hear this. If you're full-time and you want to stay full-time, you need to hear this. Today we're going to discuss how important it is to keep your business cash flow positive for many different reasons. And one of the biggest mistakes a lot of resellers make and how to avoid it. Welcome to Flipping and Punching, and today is Sunday, March 3rd. We're going to pull some orders here. It is, what is it like? It's like 11 o'clock at night. I had to get a jump on it because we had a ton of orders and I got a long day ahead of me tomorrow, so I figured I'd do this at night, get ahead of the game for the week. So we sold about 27 items for almost $1,700. We had a lot of items to package up. We had a whatnot over the weekend, and we blew out a bunch of merchandise. And that's part of the reason why I want to talk to you guys about the topic today. And the topic is why it's so important to keep your business cash flow positive. And this is, I mean, yes, every business needs to be cash flow positive, but especially when you're a reseller, it doesn't matter if you're part-time or full-time. You know, this topic is very important, especially if you're part-time, you want to go full-time, or if you're full-time and you're struggling to stay full-time and you don't want to get another job. So there's certain things you guys want to do to keep your cash flow positive. And that's so important. And that's kind of what we did this weekend with whatnot. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later on. But let's pull this first order. All right, so first order we're gonna pull, we sold a pair of Tennessee shorts. These are Nike ones. This came from that massive pickup that we did with Papa Punchin'. And speaking about Papa Punchin', actually today's his birthday. Wish Papa Punchin' happy birthday in the comments down below. What we sold here is a pair of University of Tennessee shorts. These are Nike shorts. These are actually team issued. We had these listed for $69.99. I sent out an offer for $59.99 and they countered me at $49.99, and we sold it. We had $3 invested in these shorts. So we got $49.99 plus shipping. I'll take that all day long. All right, next time we sold a couple graphic novels today. We'll probably pull some throughout this whole video, but the video hasn't dropped yet. When we went to Webster, we did a massive comic book graphic novel buy, and it is paying off tremendously. I'm not gonna spoil the video yet and let you know what we paid for this stuff, but let's just say we're gonna do really, really good. So, all right, let's pull that first book. First book we sold right here is DC and Marvel. It's a crossover classic. Kind of weird seeing Spider-Man and Batman, Silver Surfer, and Captain America all in the same comic. And they got Punisher, Robin. So we had this listed for, I think, $34.99, and we took an offer for $25. So we had $25 plus shipping on this. A lot of these graphic novels, I have best offers on because I want to blow them out. If someone sends me a reasonable offer on these, I'm just going to sell them because we don't have a lot into them yet, and there's potential to make a lot of good money. So, but let me give you guys a couple tips here. If you guys are out picking up graphic novels, you just don't want to pick up any graphic novels. One thing you want to keep in mind is it hardcover versus softcover? Hardcover does sell better than softcover a lot of times. Also, too, a good trick if you're at like a yard sale or a garage sale, flea market, look at the back of it. On the back of these will actually show you what the price is. So like brand new in the US, this one's $14.95, okay? That's one indication there. When I did this massive graphic book buy, some of these books in there had sticker prices of $100, $70, $125. Graphic novels, especially omnibuses, which is like the complete collection of a series, something like that, do really, really well. Sometimes they are a little bit slower sellers, but people will pay up for those. Another thing to look out for is kind of stay away from Superman. Superman's kind of stale, I would say, as a character. So from my experience, Superman stuff doesn't really sell that well in graphic novels. I would say for me, what always sells real good is the omnibuses, the ones that are leather bound, the ones that are hardcover, the ones that have a higher price tag on them usually sell really well for me if you get them cheap. Also, certain characters like Spider-Man sells well. Anything horror sells well. X-Men stuff sells well. So anytime I see those, I normally just pick them up, don't even look them up if they're cheap enough. That's when you start, then when you get into like the weird one-off characters, you know, some of those may not sell for that much, but Some graphic novels do like a run of comic books, like maybe comic books 1 through 6, 1 through 10. And then you can find a bunch of those, which you make a collection of. Buy those too, because they do sell great in lots. So we sell a ton over the years and have done very well, but keep an eye out for those. All right, so speaking about Spider-Man, we actually sold a Spider-Man graphic novel. The Amazing Spider-Man in the Saga of the Alien Costume. See, this is the from 252 through on, like, so this is actually a run of Spider-Man comics in there. I think we took a best offer for like $9.99 plus shipping on this. So not much, but hey, $10 a pop, I'll take that all day long. Next time we actually sold a banana Funko Pop. One of the viewers from the channel here actually purchased it. She was actually in my Whatnot on Friday night as well. So I want to say, Jennifer, thank you so much if you're watching this. And I appreciate you. We sold Banana, the kitty who lives in a banana. Daddy Banana. Yeah. Extremely weird, I know. Look at this box. Chalk this up to weird things PickingAndPunching has in the store. This came from that massive designer box buy I did. The person that sold me all this stuff was also a huge Disney person in Japanese animation. So they had a ton of just weird Japanese stuff. If you guys aren't familiar with Japanese animation, it could get... certain things can get a little strange sometimes, but there's a lot of cool things out there. So she sent us an offer. I think we took an offer for $7.99 plus shipping for this. So thank you, Jennifer. Appreciate you. All right. So speaking about my Whatnot on Friday night, we ended up selling off a lot of old merchandise in there. That brings me to the topic of this video about making sure your business is cash flow positive. And it doesn't matter if you're full-time or part-time when it comes to this. In reselling, it's very, very important to make sure that you're cash flow positive. And what I mean by that is that your business has more money coming in than it is going out. Okay, we get caught up with always going out making buys, especially if you're doing YouTube. You think you have to go out there and just make purchases sometimes, and that's not the case. That's not how you want to run your business. Very important, especially if you're part-time and you have the dream going full-time, or if you already are full-time and you want to stay full-time, it's very important that you make sure that your business has more money coming in and going out. And that's very difficult in the type of business that we're in. The fact is, because there's yard sales, garage sales, there's online auctions, there's a lot of places that we can go out and source at. Thrift stores. I mean, we can go out sourcing every single day. So we have a very unique business model where there's an overabundance of stuff out there. And sometimes FOMO kicks in, the fear of missing out, and we overspend. We've all done it. I've done it multiple times. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that our business is being cash flow positive. And that brings me to what happened this Friday night or Whatnot. So I'll show you, I'll put a little thing up here. I cleaned out a bunch of old merchandise. Now, a while back, a gentleman reached out to me. He wanted me to buy out these Funko Pops and AEW figures, a bunch of other stuff. And I think I paid like $600, sold it all off. And Art, if you're watching, I do appreciate you. Thank you very much. Now, I did put all that stuff up for sale. And that was for months. It just sat in my store. A lot of it didn't sell. And I bought it blind because I knew I've dealt with that stuff in the past. I knew some of it would sell, some's not going to sell, and that's okay. So a bunch of pieces did sell off. I got back a lot of my money already from that sale. And I got thinking the other night, I was like, you know what? The rest of the stuff is just taking up space. I only have $3 in each item, and I want to make sure that I keep the flow of money coming in, coming out. So after my items are in my store for a couple months, I decided to blow it out. So I took down like 50 something auctions from my store. I put it up for sale. I started everything at, I think $5. I think all my AEW figures start at $5, and all the Funko Pops that start at $3. Now, I had $3 in each one of these items. I've already made a couple $100 on. I've already sold a couple $100 worth of stuff, And my biggest thing is to make sure I return my initial investment. I want to get that money back. So I put up this stuff up. We sold all that on Whatnot on Friday night. Sold like $365 worth of stuff. Now, sometimes I may have lost a little money. Sometimes I made a little money on. But the biggest thing for me is keeping my business cash flow positive. Because if I had that money out there, and let's just say it took me months to recoup my money from there, that's bad because I could be missing out on opportunities along the way. So my biggest thing is trying to clear out merchandise. Not only does that clear out merchandise, we're an Operation CSO, clear shit out. And the biggest thing for me is to free up space so I can put, that took up about 2 or 3 totes worth of space. Now I freed up all that space to put new merchandise in there, newer stuff I'm acquiring, or to help clean up the mess I have here to try to reduce the amount of junk that we have in this. I'll say junk in my trunk, but that's weird. I was to say the amount of junk we have in the garage that we need to clear out. So, but yeah, let's pull a couple more. We'll talk more about this. All right, next time we sold a jacket, a Nike dry fit jacket from the University of Tennessee. Once again, from that big pickup. Had it listed for $49.99. Someone sent me a best offer on it. All right. You see the item right here, University of Tennessee. When you see the picture, though, it looks like gray just because of the light on it, but see how that white tag is underneath there? That's how you can tell if you ever find merchandise from a college or a sports team. If you see little tags inside there with either player's name or coach's name, that's team issued. So this is actually team issued. Had it listed for $49.99. Someone sent me an offer for $35, and I just accepted. Had $3 into it. So if I could 10 times my money and move on from there, I'm definitely going to do that. And it keeps the cash flow coming in. The biggest thing for your business is you don't always have to sell directly to the end user. That's the biggest mistake a lot of resellers do make, is they think that because I list on eBay, I have to get max amount of money for my items. And that's not the case. I will take less because, remember, you make your money on the actual buy, not the sell. So the biggest thing for you is you need to buy cheap so that you have bigger margins. I know that sounds ridiculous. Buy high quality merchandise at a cheap price. You need to find other sources, find other ways to do that. But when you do find those items, you list it high, you have a lot more wiggle room than a lot of other people have. So when I list an item for $50, someone sends me an offer for $30, $25, $30, $35, I'm probably going to accept it because I'm getting that cash flow back to me. I can take that money to reinvest. Also, too, is I don't have to make a ton of money off these items. If I paid $3 for an item, I sold for $25, but that item goes for $50, I'm okay taking the $25 if I'm moving a bunch of stuff. They can take that item, resell it for $50, and make a little profit as well. As resellers, you guys do not always have to sell to the end user. It's okay to be the middleman along the way, and that's a lot of people make a mistake on, because you want to keep your business cash flow positive. You want to keep that money coming in. Every weekend, you guys are going sourcing, so you want to try to recoup that money as soon as possible. This is why cash flow is so important. Next time we actually sold a Moon Knight graphic novel. Sorry guys, we'll have like 3 or 4 graphic novels today, but I won't go in depth with those as I did the last one. This is the Moon Knight one. I think we had this listed for, let me look, $9.99 plus shipping. Nope, we had it listed for $14.99 plus shipping. Someone sent me an offer for $12, and I accepted. So this is actually going international. It's actually an international sale. So I'm sure they paid a lot of money because these books are a little bit heavier. And I'll ship that media mail to Illinois, and then they'll ship it international to the buyer. So when I was clearing stuff out for Whatnot, I was pulling down some items from my store, and I had a couple higher end items that have been sitting in my store for a long time. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to discount them. I'll wait the Friday and I'll take them down. And this item, I actually had it listed in the Whatnot, and a half an hour before the Whatnot started, it actually sold. You guys remember the Big Bossman from WWF back in the day? I originally had this listed for $30 in my eBay store. I dropped it to $19.99, like probably about, I don't know, 24 to 40 hours before the Whatnot, and it sold. So I ended up getting $19.99 plus shipping for this. I've had this in my store a very long time. I think I paid maybe like $3 or $4 into it. It came from a massive wrestling buy I did about a year and a half ago. And I pretty much have sold off everything but maybe a handful of figures. So just happy to get this thing moved. It's been in my store for over a year. Time to move on. All right, this next item that sold, I just purchased it. I think it was with ADH Dave when I bought this. I paid $5 for it. It's a Florida State Santa Claus figurine. This is what it looks like, guys. Keep an eye out for this company. This is actually the Memory Company. If you guys aren't familiar, this is Memory Company. They came out with the Santa Clauses for all the NFL and hockey and basketball teams, baseball teams as well. But for the colleges, they came out with like 4 different series of like Santa Clauses, and they're actually in the team uniforms. They actually wears the team logos on their shirt and stuff like that, but they can sell really well. Had that listed for $39.99. Someone sent me an offer for $29 after I had it listed, and I just took it. The big box takes up a lot of room. I have $5 into it. So if I can quick make $24 off it, why not, right? So we got $29 plus shipping on that. Weird sale this weekend. We actually had a Bonanza sale. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with Bonanza, Bonanza is another online selling platform. It's free to sign up. Bonanza is super easy, super simple. You don't have to do anything. You literally log on, set an account. You can actually import your entire eBay store on there, and they have automatic auto delist for you. So if an item does sell on Bonanza, it automatically removes it from your eBay store. So you guys got nothing to lose. So you guys aren't signed up. You guys should. I will warn you though, you may only get 1 or 2 sales a month. But hey, that stuff does add up. The reason I brought that up because we sold this on Bonanza. This is a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. We paid... Actually, this came from a giant yard sale buy. Bought that at a yard sale. I paid $100 for that. I bought the entire table at a yard sale for $100. That was on the table. We sold a Funko Pop for about $45. We sold a couple other items. We're in the profit on this. So this sold, I think, for like $18.60. Yeah, Bonanza had some type of weird discount on there. But that plus shipping. So happy to see that go. And when you do get a Bonanza sale, you don't get like a notification you got a Bonanza sale. You get a PayPal notification that you got money, which is weird. So then you're always like, hey, I don't remember getting money for anything. And then you log on, you're like, oh, I had a Bonanza sale. So if you guys ever watch the Commonwealth Picker, he probably has like 5 or 7 sales a month on Bonanza. Absolutely loves it, but he's been doing it for a while. Bonanza's been around for 15, 20 years. So highly recommend if you guys aren't signed up for it, go sign up. All right, next thing we sold an action figure. This is from the Madman from the 90s, is like a cartoon. Man, I don't remember this cartoon, but it's from late 90s. This actually came from my, Grendel. I know Grendel. But this actually came from my buddy. One of my really close friends actually passed away, probably about over 2 years ago. It's cool when I see this stuff sell because he would really appreciate knowing that this is going out to another collector out there. So I had it listed for, I think, $15.99 plus shipping and took an offer for $13. So we got 13 plus shipping for it. All right, so next couple items we sold are actually here in the office drawer. We sold 2 Disney pins. So let's pull those out. All right. I think this is one of them here, if I'm not mistaken. Is that Pluto? Yeah, this is Pluto. We had this pin listed for, I think, for $60, and we took a best offer for $47 plus shipping. So this came from that massive pin buy. I'm already in the profits on it. So, all right. So next one we sold, it's actually like a relic pin. Yeah, this pin's super cool, guys. So check this out. It's a piece of history. If you actually see that in here, I don't know if you can really see it on camera there. Try to get the focus. But that's actually a piece of the rope. It's a piece of the rope from the Disney Wonder Ship. Mooring rope is used to secure Disney cruise line when ships in port. So in this little circle thing right here is actually little pieces of the actual boat rope. I think I had it listed for $49.99 plus shipping. Someone sent me an offer for $40. So we got $40 plus shipping for this pin. I got a crazy week ahead of me. Me and Mrs. Punchin are actually going to be celebrating our 1-year wedding anniversary this week. So that's super fun. I'm really looking forward to hanging out with her for a couple days. And we're probably end up going to Disney, go to Epcot, go to Magic Kingdom, spend some quality time, just me and her, which is going to be it's going to be a good time. So I'm really excited for that. But anyway, let's get back to what we were talking about earlier. So we talked about your business about being cash flow positive. And here's another reason why it's so important. Number one, you never know when that buy is going to come, when that next buy is going to come. And you never know when you have the buy that's going to change your business. And I've had multiple buys throughout the years that changed my business. For example, like this Disney pin buy. spend $1,500 on 600 pins. There's a lot of people out there that can't afford to do that, you know what I mean? And don't have that cash, or don't have the money to do that, and they would have missed out on the opportunity. I got 600 pins for about $1,500. We started doing a bunch of whatnots with them. That really helped kick us off on whatnot. Also, too, that helped us understand the whole market of Disney pins. We weren't able to do that if we didn't have that cash at that time. Not to mention that buy opened the door for us to come back for a second buy. The second buy we actually did, we bought over 2,600 pins and over 50 Y2K shirts from Disney and a couple of vintage Disney shirts for $5,700. There was probably over 2,000. I think we estimated about $20,000 worth of merchandise there. But I wouldn't be able to do that if my business wasn't cash flow positive. Now, what I'm about to say is remember, everyone's at different parts of the business. Some people are just starting out. Some people have a family. They do this part-time. Some people do this full-time. We're all at different stages. So don't ever compare yourself to other people out there and what they're buying and doing. You can eventually get to that level. But there's so many people that reach out to me, people that I don't know, people I just met, people that I do know for a while that say, hey, if I come across this big buy, would you come in and partner with us? We don't have enough money for it. Or, hey, Rod, can you help us out with this? If we find a good lead, would you help, come in and facilitate? Maybe we can go partners on this buy. And that's something I would consider. I do appreciate them that's ever reached out to me that said that, but I can't tell you, probably in the last couple months, there's over a dozen people that have reached out to me in that. And if your business was cash flow positive, you wouldn't have to reach out to someone else to get help. Now, granted, if it's something that you're not comfortable with and it's a massive buy that you want more of an expert to come in there, 100% recommend doing that. Or if you feel better having a partner in there to help alleviate the financial burden, 100%, I agree with that too. But you don't want to be caught with your pants down, not having enough capital to make these big purchases. If you have never made a big purchase before, you have no idea how that's a game changer for your business. Imagine if you just go out and you go sourcing 3 times a week at the thrift store, picking up 5 items, 10 items at a time. You're spending a lot of time, a lot of effort out and about, looking at garage sales, thrift stores, 3-4 hours. Imagine if you make a big buy that you didn't have to go sourcing for weeks. How much more items could you list? How much more free time of difference would that have in your business? Anytime I made a big buy and I start listing those items, they increase my value in my store, but also too, it helps get the traffic going in my store. I'm listing a lot more items out there. I'm not going to have to go out sourcing, so I'm getting more listings up. When I get more listings up, I get more eyes on my products, not only ones that I'm listing, but what I currently have in my store. So you guys, it is so important to make sure that you guys are cash flow positive, because when these big buys come, you want to be able to jump at the chance. And if you guys are in the position where you guys don't have the capital yet, that's okay. You will eventually get there. If your business right now currently is not cash flow positive, or you guys are running on a very shoestring budget, make sure that you do network with other resellers, because when that buy does come, you want to be able to partner up with someone, make sure you have the cash at that point in time, at least you don't miss out. But try to get yourself to a position where you don't have to partner up with someone, unless you actually want to. That's a big difference though. All right, so I just talked about how important it is to make big buys. This item actually came from a really big buy I did early in the year last year. I met a lady at a garage sale, told me that her sister passed away over 20 years ago, and she had her entire Disney collection at her house. This is the actual story that kicked off me buying all this Disney stuff. Went out there were 17 totes full of Disney stuff. I was able to combine it to 14 totes, and I think I paid like $650 for everything. Made an absolute killing. That's what really kicked me off and whatnot. That one buy changed my outcome for how I do business, helped establish me on whatnot, and I made a ton of money off it as well. This item is super cool. I almost didn't want to sell it. And I literally had taken pictures of this like 2 or 3 times. For some reason, I couldn't bring myself to list it. So this weekend, I finally said, you know what? I need to get these big items up. This thing, I think, was brand new in the box. When I pulled the stuff out, it looked new inside here. But I listed it for $129.99. I probably could have got more money for it. I put $129.99 in best offer, and it sold within hours of me listing. So anytime I do that, I always question, I'm like, did I underprice this item? Could I got more? But at the same point in time is that item is selling the same day I list it. That's great. That gets me 130 bucks back into my business, getting the cash flow back in. And you know what? I paid 650 bucks. I've already made my money 10 times over on this. So this is pure profit. So it's a super cool piece. I think it's from 1986. Train, you get the train set, the boat. I mean, it's just cool, man. If I had this as a kid, I would love this as a kid. Hell, I love it now. I'm an adult. All right, next time we sold a jacket, I think it is. Let me pull it down. Yep, Breitling. Yep, this is, it almost looks like a bomber jacket. It was brand new. I wasn't really familiar with this brand. I think, is this the same brand that makes watches, I think? This came from that massive designer purchase I did. I think I paid, I want to say 20 bucks. No, I think I paid 40 bucks. I think I paid 40 bucks for this jacket. And I had listed for $2.99 plus shipping. And someone sent me an offer for $1.99. I was like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna sell it for 200 bucks because once again, I want to get my cash flow back in. And I think originally I bought, this came in a massive buy. I think I paid $1,500 or $1,700 for everything there. Now, if you guys always see, that's what all those behind me. See these graphic boxes. You see these boxes behind me. These are designer boxes. These are actually from that same pickup. Actually, funny, we actually sold a box from here too. All right, guys, this is Chanel designer box. It's an empty box. It's what all it is. But look right here. You see those things on the end? Those are magnets. So when you go to shut it, it automatically stays shut. Magnet boxes are usually the boxes they use for purses. You guys see designer boxes, Louis Vuitton, Hermes, Chanel. Pick them up if you get them for super cheap. I paid $5 for this box. We ended up getting 40 bucks plus shipping. I think someone sent me, I think I had it listed for $49.99. They sent me off for 50 bucks. So I'm going to sell this all day long. What I didn't know, and yes, I was amazed actually when I found out these designer boxes actually sell. What ends up happening is most of the time, a lot of consignment shops will take in purses and they can actually get a premium for them if they have the original box. So they'll go online, they'll actually buy Louis Vuitton boxes, Chanel, and a lot of times people will buy those and put in consignment shops, or they'll actually put them in their eBay store or their Etsy store, and they just need the boxes for them. So lucky for me, I get hundreds of these boxes stacked away that I'm going to start listing one by one here. But as you see, that it freed up another space here, so I put another box in this shelf here. I did list all these Louis Vuitton ones this week. Hermes. This is I forget this brand, but as you see, I got a couple up here. Oh, and check out this cool Phillies hat. If you guys aren't following Vintage Sports Flips on YouTube, go check him out. If you like sports stuff, he actually sent me this hat. I appreciate you. So big shout out there. This thing's brand new, dead stock. I think from 1980. As you can tell by my shirt, I'm a huge Phillies fan, so anything Philadelphia sports I'm all about. So another graphic novel here. This is X-Men Mutant Genesis. This is actually a kind of a highly sought after graphic novel, which I didn't realize. Original price was 16 bucks, but actually sells for a lot more than that. We had it listed for $34.99. Someone sent me an offer for 25 bucks, and we accepted. So we got $25 plus shipping on that. I'm so glad that the writer's strike is over in Hollywood and the actor strike, because I was not selling any comic books. Ever since the last month or two now, I've been selling a ton of books, which I'm happy about. So this one, this is Thor #1. This is when Jane Foster becomes the new Thor. This is a 9.8 grade by CGC. This actually came in a mystery box. I actually bought a mystery box, I think for like 100 bucks. I bought a mystery box for 100 bucks or 200 bucks, and that was in it with another run of those. I took this one off, sent off to be graded, and I got $129.99 plus shipping for that. All right, next time we sold a Lego Star Wars set. I think this is Luke's Land Runner or Land Speeder. Let's come with one of the minifigs on here. It's actually incomplete, but still, I think we got $15.99 plus shipping for that. Only reason why I put this up for sale is because when I went to a yard sale, they had them already they had them put together on the table, which majority of them are either complete or missing just a couple pieces. Anytime I buy them, when I ask for separate bags so I can keep the pieces and bags in each one. So if you guys ever do buy loose Legos that put together at yard sales, ask them for like Ziploc bags or grocery bags that you can put each figure that you buy or each thing that you buy in separate bags. So the parts do fall off, and they will. At least you know that all the parts go in that bag, so it's easy for you to fix, put together. Also, too, before you put them in the bag, take a photo of them so you remember what they actually look like before you bring them home. I do that every single time, and it does really well for me. So this $15.99 plus shipping. So while we were just about to film tonight, we actually saw another graphic novel. This came from that big buy again. This is the Big Book of Conspiracies. It sent me an offer for $10 plus shipping. I took it. Listen, I want these to go. I bought 5 short boxes full of graphic novels and magazines, and we're gonna make an absolute killing. So even at 50% of what I have it listed for, I'm still gonna do really well. So $10 plus shipping. So we talked about earlier about keeping that cash flow going. It's okay to break even on items to get old items moving, or even take a slight loss on those items so you can get that cash flow back in your business. Because when your money is tied up, let's just say you spent $500 on items and you knew it was a bad buy. You've been sitting on these items for 6 months and you have not moved much of them, and someone will offer you $400 for those items and you're short on cash, I would take a loss on it, just move the merchandise out. Because that $400, you can actually go out there and try to make more buys. That $400, you can take that weekend and buy something that you know is going to make profit, and right away turn that $400 into $500, $600, $700 within a week or two. But when that money is tied up in these bad buys, unfortunately, you're not going to make any money. And the biggest mistake a lot of part-time, a lot of full-time resellers do is they figured, oh, well, I already bought the item. It's already in my store. I'm just going to leave it there. I'm not going to do it, discount, stuff like that. And I used to have that same philosophy for the longest time. But now I'm at the point now where I don't want to have 3,000, 4,000 items in my store. I want to have less than 1,000 items, better, high quality items, and I'm going to keep them moving. High sell-through rate, get these items moving. So when these items weren't selling, I had another way to move these items. So what I did was I put them on Whatnot. Sometimes I took a loss on some of them, but you know what? I sold over $350 worth of stuff. Whatnot takes about 10%. Minus my fees, I'm at $300. Okay, that's what I'm taking back from those items. I spent $600 for those items, so now I already get back half my money. All the higher end items are probably still listed in my store. I sold a bunch of those items off, but I get that money back in my business. Now I can take that money to reinvest down the line. And just so you guys know, I'm not saying that was a bad buy I made. It wasn't a bad buy. I bought in bulk. I knew what I was getting myself into. I enjoy listing action figures, so that was more of a passion buy for me. But also too, I knew there's some of those items did have some value in them, and I wasn't going to lose money on it. I knew eventually that I was going to blow out a lot of those items on Whatnot, which I ended up doing. So I had that mindset going into it. I'm going to see how they would do in my store. The opportunity arose, I would do that same buy all over again. But I'm not seeing those items. I could have had those items sit in my store for 6 months, a year and a half till they eventually sold. Just start discounting down. Or I could just, you know what? Start them at $5, let them go. I know that minus fees, I'm going to be a little bit above break-even point at that point in time. And some of those sold for $7, $8, $9. At the end of the day, more importantly, I moved like 2 or 3 totes full of merchandise. And those items are now removed from my store. And I moved on. So that's why it's so important, guys, keep that cash flow going. One of the biggest mistakes a lot of people do is they get tied up in old merchandise. They're not willing to discount old merchandise or take a slight loss on it just to move it to get that cash flow coming back to your business. Speaking of that, I bought this in an auction at the local auction house. Spawn figure. Now, I've already sold off the one item. I think I paid $30, $35 for all these figures. I ended up getting a couple Spawn figures. I got a Reggie White McFarlane figure, which I think I sold for $25. Sold another Spawn figure, so I've already made my money back. So what I did was when I was pulling items from my store, I was like, oh, this has been in my store for a while. I think this list for like $30. I ended up discounting down to like $20, and someone sent me an offer for $18, so I sold it right away. And then the rest of the items I threw in my Whatnot. I got maybe $5, $7 for the other Spawn figures, but we're just moving merchandise to get the cash flow coming back in. I'm not sure this video is going to drop either on Monday or on Wednesday this week, but over the weekend I went to a garage sale. I picked up this massive video game score, and I ended up getting this game, Mario Kart. Now it didn't have the manual in here, but this was in good condition. These are going for like 35 bucks right now. I listed at $29.99. I listed a little bit below market value because I knew it was going to sell pretty fast, and it sold the same day for $29.99 plus shipping. Yeah, I really dread this sale. So I'm not going to show you the actual item. I'll put a picture here on the screen right here, what I sold. I sold this disc changer. I think was it disc changer or receiver? Disc CD changer. This thing has been in my store for like a year and a half. I was buying a lot of electronics, and I actually stopped buying electronics because they're bulky. They take up a lot of space. You got to test them. A lot more work goes into them, and they're a pain in the butt to ship. And so this week I actually said, when I was going through clearing out some of my action figures, I said, oh, you know what? I'm going to take this thing down. And when I threw that in the universe, within like 48 hours, it sold right away. And I was waiting to go to my little storage warehouse to pick it up. And I was going to donate it, and someone bought it. And I feel like this is going to be an issue. So something to keep in mind, guys, there's a bunch of drop shippers in South Florida, either like Stuart, Florida, they're in Fort Lauderdale, they're in Miami area. For some reason, they're all concentrated down in South Florida. And anytime I get a sale for electronic items, it could be DVD players, CDs, VCRs, receivers. It always comes from that area because they're drop shippers or they're Amazon shippers. They buy the items and they drop ship it to their customers from Amazon. And I just tell you, over the years, I've had so many issues where I tested out the items work completely fine, and then when I ship it, I think that these buyers get it and they want to return it because, say they buy it from me for 35 bucks. He's probably selling it on Amazon for 70 bucks or 100 bucks. And sometimes the buyers want to return it. Then they try to return it back. It's just a mess. But anyway, let me know in the comments down below if you guys are selling electronics to people in South Florida. There's a bunch of resellers out there that will not sell electronics to people in South Florida for that reason. Believe it or not. Because it's just a headache. I don't get a lot of returns. Anytime I had electronics that were returned, they came from South Florida every single time. So, this 6-disc CD changer, I got $34. $34.99 plus shipping. And I'm regretting every minute of it at this moment. All right, this next time we sold is actually really interesting. So PickingAndPunching, if you guys don't know, PickingAndPunching used to have a tree service and a hauling business up in Pennsylvania. And we used to clear out a lot of estates. And over the years, he has amassed a ton of really cool items. So every time he comes down to visit me in Florida, he brings down a bunch of items that I usually buy off him at this kind of rate. He makes money, clears some stuff out. He doesn't sell online, and then I usually just sell it online. But he brought me down this book last time he came down. It is, I keep it in this bag here, I don't want to pull it out, but it's a Webster International Dictionary. Look how fat this thing is. Look how old it is. So this book is actually from 1893. It's in horrible condition. The covers has been detached. The spine is coming apart. Usually I saw comps anywhere from like 75 to like 100 bucks for it. I thought someone was gonna send me a best offer. So anytime I'm in situations like this, I always list stuff super high, just hoping that someone's gonna send me an offer for maybe 50, 75% of it. I listed for $199.99. It's been up there for a little bit, and today someone bought it for full price. I couldn't believe it. So I thought I was probably gonna get about 100 bucks, 100 to 125 bucks for it, but I got $199 plus shipping. So that was one of those things where you throw up a Hail Mary and you hope for the best, and your receiver comes down with it for the game-winning touchdown. Anyway, I got to package this up. It's already like midnight, and I'm going to start packaging up all these items here. I got a lot of editing to do this week. We're going to drop 2 different videos on the Picking and Punching channel. We're going to get a couple of videos coming out on the Flipping and Punching channel. So guys, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. We're going to take the week off from Whatnot this week, so no Whatnots. We'll come back next week with some Whatnots, give ourselves a little break. And please do me a huge favor. If I show you guys any type of value, please like and subscribe. It really does help out this channel, especially since we're just starting to build this channel up here. And guys, till next time, make sure you guys keep flipping and punching.